All right, so it's the new year, 2025, and a lot of you guys want to step your game up in the new year. You sick of losing like you did last year and the years prior. It's time to end the chain of failure that you call life. And now we're going to take it to the next level and ascend up the mountaintop of what? Greatness. These are the habits you need to make this year the best year of your life. The first thing you need to do, track every dollar you spend. I've been doing this since 15 years. You can watch old videos from me from 10 years ago doing live streams. I was telling people that I track every dollar I spend and every dollar I make in a software called Mint.com. Now, Mint.com shut down. Now we use something called Monarch. They do not pay me to endorse them, but I will take the money if you fucking nerds are listening. Matter of fact, you owe me money. It's gonna be a problem when I see you because I've been shouting you out and nobody reached out to me to break me off some bread yet. Now it's a fucking problem. Anyway, we're using Monarch, and what you do is you link up all your accounts, all your credit cards, investment accounts, bank accounts, and you get a clear picture of your whole financial life. You can see where all your money's going. Every time I start working with an entrepreneur who wants my help, that's the first thing we do. We hook up everything to that. And then I make them go in there and categorize everything. Now, it categorizes things for you in certain aspects, but I make them come up with different categories. All right, what's stuff that you use just for fun? Well, one of the things I do is categorize everything that you need to spend money on every month, like you have to, because then we can get an idea of what this guy needs every month to survive. What's extra? What's he spending money on bullshit? You know, a lot of single guys, I make them categorize, all right, how much you spend on dating or girls, right? I did this with one entrepreneur, man. He had made $1 million, but he didn't have a whole lot of money in his bank account. I made him have a whole category for hoes. And we found out this motherfucker spent like $70,000 on hoes, not prostitutes, you know, flying bitches places, buying gifts, you know, taking them out. And I was like, man, was it worth it? And, you know, I didn't like hate on him because I had been there too. I remember I did more than that in 1 month. And I was like, whoa, I need to get my shit together. I need to get a girlfriend. That's what I did because it's cheap. But there's also a scientific reason for it. So here's a study I'm going to bring up where the participants, they were told to track their spending, just their spending in an app. There's a lot of them that do it. I like Monarch. The motherfuckers are going to pay me, all right? Even if I got to go get it in blood. They had to start tracking their spending, and they reduced their spending by 16% just by tracking. And this is a fucking university study. Now check this out. Let me show you why this happened. During the Industrial Revolution, there was all these factories. This is a factory I'm drawing. I know I'm a great artist. Try not to get too distracted by it, right? Henry Ford and all them boys, they was building factories, man. You know, there was revolutionizing industry. Some factories were way more productive than others, right? So they hired this researcher, this dude named Hawthorne. Hawthorne was a fucking science nerd, and he went to every one of these factories. He was like, yo, workers, don't do nothing. We're just going to observe you and then try to figure out why some of these factories are more productive than others, right? Hawthorne noticed was every time he went to a new factory, him and his homies, productivity shot up, like it skyrocketed. As soon as he left, guess what happened? Yeah, it went down. And what they noticed was the mere act of being observed improves performance. What happens was you start tracking your finances every day like an adult, you're going to make better decisions on what you're spending on, right? I remember when you was in school, grade school or something. I remember I was like 5th grade or something. When the teacher was there, everybody's being good boys and girls, learning fucking algebra, whatever kids learn in 5th grade, times tables, I don't know. As soon as she leave, niggas start acting crazy, man. Niggas is in the class rolling blunts, bitches is twerking and shit. And then she comes back, we go back to being good boys and girls. I don't know if it was like that where you grew up, but I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Those kids are now all either gang members, strippers, or one of them's a YouTuber. That's how the Hawthorne effect works. With this, you're the observer. Once you start tracking stuff, you are the observer. So you what? Improve performance. And there's studies to back this up. It's not just me saying it. Track every dollar you spend and you'll start making better decisions with your finances. Habit number 2, you got to work more and invest the difference. So we're going to start working on the weekends because most people only work 40 hours a week, but it's really less. According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the average American works 36 hours per week. Motherfucker's not even trying. Imagine if you push that to 60 or 80. Those extra 20 plus hours start to compound over time. And this creates a massive separation between you and your motherfucking competition. And you'll be making way more money because you're getting 20 plus more hours of work per month. And remember, we're not increasing our lifestyles. If you do that, you'll have like an additional 1,000 hours per year. That's essentially cramming 1.5 years of work into 1 year. That's how you start really moving ahead, by moving faster. If you're in a race, you want to get ahead of the competition? What? You got to go faster. Now, I get a lot of pushback from this. When I say, hey, if you want to get rich, you should work more. People fucking hate on me for saying this. This one guy, man, he made a video about me and he said, oh no, man, you're just going to work forever. You're going to be a slave. No, man, you work so you're not a slave. Dipshit. Yo, he said this on a YouTube video and posted it for the world to see. He said, the happiest people I know are all on welfare. Bullshit. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I knew plenty of people on welfare and they were not the happiest people I ever met. No, sir. And in fact, when your kids grow up in poverty, it has negative ramifications on your children. Kids who come from low-income families have higher rates of incarceration, drug abuse, depression, and mental disorders, significantly higher than kids who come from middle-class households or wealthy households. In fact, kids who come from wealthy households have significantly more successful outcomes statistically than any other demographic, right? So fuck what that nerd was talking about. That's just cope. We don't want to cope, man. We want to work. I didn't know that working hard was a controversial thing. There used to be a time people actually respected men who worked hard. People looked up to them. Families were proud of men who work hard. And men took pride in working hard, providing for their families, being able to take care of their parents, buy your mom a house, buy your mom a car, send your kids to the best schools. There was a time when this was valued, but it seems like that's lost upon the young generation. And that's good for us, because now we can fucking run circles around these dumb asses. We can run laps around these dipshits. Dude, I hope that video he made goes viral and more motherfuckers drop out. It's gonna make it easy for us to succeed. We're gonna work on the weekends because working is a good thing. When people say they don't want to work, it's like, oh, don't you understand? Like, if you work for yourself or another business, that business is providing some service or product for other people, right? Even if you're a fucking bus driver, man, you're helping people get transportation that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to do, right? I remember I was little on the bus to go see family members. I wouldn't be able to see them family members if there wasn't bus drivers, right? You're helping people when you work. That's the only way you can get money. You can't make it. People have to give it to you in exchange for a product or service that they think is valuable. If you're not working, you're literally not providing value. Working's a good thing. Don't let these fucking dorks tell you anything differently. So we're gonna work on the weekends, provide more value, make more money. But you may be thinking, hey, I don't got time for that, Brandon. I'm a bitch. Well, bitch, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna start planning out every hour of every day in your calendar. I plan out every hour of every day. I'm telling you, this is the cheat code of life. If you learn nothing else from this video, do that. Start planning out every hour of every day. Because when I tell people to work more, they say shit like, oh man, I don't want to neglect sleep or my health or my family. I don't want you to do that either. You got enough time to do all that shit. You're just squandering your time. How do I know that? Well, if you're not planning out every hour every day, you're leaving so much success on the table. You can get so much more done each day if you choreograph it. I have it in here when I'm gonna wake up, when I'm gonna go to bed, when my meals are, when I'm gonna work out, when I'm gonna be with my girlfriend, when I'm gonna see my son. Like, I plan it. I plan everything. Me and my son was in fucking Disney World with the passes that allowed us to jump in front of everybody, even the dorks with the lightning pass. Think they doing something. We got in front of them too. I planned out my calendar. Oh man, we gonna spend a week at the Magic Kingdom. And we did that. I planned out the days I'm gonna spend with my son. I planned out the time I'm gonna be with my girlfriend, my family. I planned out the time I'm gonna work out. I'm planning out the time I'm gonna eat. You know, you motherfuckers are not busier than me. You don't run a business with 40 employees. You got a job, bro. You get to clock out. You got more time. I'm telling you, you're not busier than me. Unless you got like 15 kids. You can still plan out your days and you'll get more time. You might not have as much time as me or as much time as someone else, but you'll have more time. You'll be able to find more time to accomplish your goals. Plan out every hour of every day in your calendar. But man, once your day has structure, one, you'll notice that you'll get more done, obviously, right? You'll be able to accomplish more, right? If you do that every day, you'll run laps around motherfuckers. But also what you notice is your days will be more fun. There was a time when I worked for a moving company. I remember, some guys would try to do as little as they can man when they worked for the moving company. I had a few days like that in the beginning. Those days would have worked. It was way more boring and more arduous when I was doing less. But then I kind of realized how important the job was. I was like, oh man, these people are trusting me to pack up everything they own, put it in the car, and drive it to their new home where they're going to raise a family and live. And this is an important job. And I started taking pride in the work, and I was like, I'm gonna do this job the best I can. The funny thing is, it became more fun. If you pack your whole day like that, the day will be fun. I do not remember the last time I was bored. Like, that is an emotion that I have not experienced in over a decade. And honestly, there's no time to get sad either. I remember when I got serious about doing this, it was after my father committed suicide, and he left a huge mess, a financial mess for the family, and I'm the man of the house. So I was like, oh shit, I started working like 4 different jobs, help dig our family out of this financial hole we were in. Because you blow your brains out, you don't get life insurance, motherfucker. Otherwise, people do that all the time. It'd be a cheat code. I would say, I'm not lying, I was sad. I would find moments to be sad, but I wasn't as sad as I would have been if I was doing nothing all day, right? I had shit to do, and I made sure I had shit. I stayed busy, and I wasn't really sad, man. People were like, man, you never had time to grieve. You never had time to... Nah, man, I just didn't need to grieve like that. Like, I'm chilling. You enjoy life more when you're busy. Motherfuckers would be chilling, be bored and shit, and that's why they look for escapism. That's why they got to get fucking drunk, high, have casual sex. They always need a vacation, man, because they're fucking chilling so much. You weren't made to chill. We were made to work. We were made to be busy on something. And it doesn't have to be working. You could be trying to learn guitar or learning a language or playing with your kids or doing whatever. But we're not made to fucking do nothing. And the more you do, the more you enjoy life. But it's not about enjoying life. This ain't a video about how to be happy, but this is a video about accomplishing more. The next habit you need is start tracking your fucking macros. Tracking improves performance. All right, so this is a study done by Duke University. And what they did is they had a bunch of fat boys. All they did was have them track their macros and calories for 3 months. They didn't give them no diet plan. They didn't say, hey, be in a caloric deficit. They didn't say do intermittent fasting, Mediterranean diet, keto, go vegan. None of that shit. They just said, hey, fat boy, just fucking track what you eat instead of putting anything in your mouth like a whore, the way you've been doing your whole life. They didn't give them a workout plan or nothing. And on average, the participants lost 5 pounds in 3 months. Now, 5 pounds in 3 months is not a lot until you remember they had no fucking diet plan. They had no workout plan. The only change they made was they started tracking their fucking calories. So when you're tracking, you are the observer, like the Hawthorne effect. And what happens is these people start making better decisions. Like, oh, maybe I'm not going to eat that fucking cake if I can't track it. Now, this is very important. Start tracking your macros. And then now, if you want to lose weight, this is why it's really important, because losing weight is just math. Let's say you were tracking this shit, right? And you're tracking how many calories you consume every day. I'm like, okay, man, I'm doing like 2,500 calories a day. Not bad. Right? Let's say you had a goal too. You were trying to like lose weight. 2,500 calories. That's how many calories you're consuming each day. Let's say you take it to the next level. You start tracking how many calories you burn each day. So what I do is I wear this thing. It's called the Oura Ring. The Apple Watch does this. I'm sure the Samsung watch does that. Or yeah, but you can do it the Fitbit or the Whoop or whatever. But I don't like looking like I'm wearing a whole lot of fucking nerdy technology. I'd rather just wear the Oura Ring. I wear a watch that doesn't track my heart rate, but it increases your bitch's heart rate. All right. Anyway, let's say you got some sort of fitness tracker and you track how many calories you burn each day. Now remember, every pound of fat you want to lose, you have to burn 3,500 calories. 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of fat. So this makes it super simple. Oh man, all I got to do is burn 3,000 calories each day. And if I do that, as you can see it, in this thing does the calculations for me, it equals I'm in a calorie deficit of 500 each day. Guess what that equals? You're right, 3,500. So you do that, you'll burn a pound of fat per week. Now we're doing better than what the Duke nerds had them do, right? Because now we're being more conscious. Let's say we want to step it up and say, fuck man, I want to burn 2 pounds of fat a week. That's not crazy. People do it all the time. Well, then I just have to burn more calories, man. Let's go with, I got to burn 3,500 calories per day, which is not a fucking lot. I mean, maybe it is for you, fat boy, because you out of shape. All right, then it's just math. 7,000 calories is 2 pounds of fat. And if you, let's say you're trying to gain weight, you can do the same shit, you just reverse it. You also want to track the protein intake as well. There's something in the description that's called the Victory Vision Planner, right? And this is free. And when you go to the Victory Vision Planner, it has a video on how to use it, right? But I'm gonna tell you, you go to the success track, right? And here is a free Notion template. You can download it for free. You can start tracking a bunch of shit. How many hours you work each day, your income, how many hours of sleep you get each night. And you can add stuff to this as well. You can make your own habit tracker. Did you work out today? Then what's cool is you can put in your calories here. I put formulas in here for you that automatically adds it, right? So let's say you're tracking your macros. Let's say he only had 50 carbs. Let's say he's doing like a keto type thing, right? 50 carbs. It changes the calories he consumed each day. So this is dynamic. This does it for you. Then you can track how many calories you burn each day. Let's say he burned more this day. As you can see, if you look at the column to the left, it's dynamic and it moves for you. What else is cool about here? You can actually put your weight in here. I have a graph in here, and this graph is dynamic. And let's say he lost a ton of fucking weight on the last day, right? It's not realistic, but I just want to show you. Boom, you see the graph moves. So this way you can actually get a visual representation of your progress. And then you can track your income as well, how much money you make each day, right? You can see a total for the month, right? All right, cool. Let me change it. Let's say you made fucking $10,000 this day, man. You got a big deal. Boom, you see the graph moves. And this way you get you a visual representation of what's going on. This is free and it's in the description. If you're not tracking, you're slacking, right? And remember, the Hawthorne effect, just the mere act of tracking these things will improve your performance. Download that Victory Vision Planner. It's free. And there's also something there where you can plan out your goals, and I explain it in the video that's attached to it, but you can plan out your goals. That's very important. People don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. The next habit you need to build is you want to start reading at least one book a week. The reason this is important, it accelerates your learning curve. One book a week, it'll start to compound over time. So I've been reading 2 books a week for a long time, but I took a speed reading course when I was very young so I can read a little faster than you. But like read one book, it doesn't matter if it's an audio book or whatever, just consume a whole book. And books are better than YouTube. I fucking hate when people say, man, I'll just watch YouTube videos or fucking blog posts or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or listen to podcasts. And it's not the same, dipshit. I'm fucking freestyling this video. For example, this book I wrote here, Ultimate Cuts. You see it on Amazon. It's the one with like 4,000 5-star reviews. It's only 100 pages, but this shit took like almost a year for me to write and perfect, right? Because it's consolidated collection of thoughts and it's more well thought out than my fucking YouTube video, right? If you see my boy Ryan Holiday, you know, it's the homie me. He autographs books when they come out, sends them to me. Just, you know, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. And anyway, he has videos about how he writes his books. It's fucking months and months of research. So much goes into a book. Motherfuckers are freestyling podcasts, bro. It's not the same information. And these YouTubers are putting out fucking YouTube videos every week, or motherfuckers like me every day. It's good information and it's helpful. It's not the same as reading, brother. There's some guys who say, man, I never read. I'm just rich, right? And maybe they're smarter than me, right? But if they're smarter than me, then they're smarter than you. That's for goddamn sure. Or they're fucking lying. It's easy to just pretend you're the man. You know what I'm saying? You didn't learn from no one else. That sounds cooler. But nah, man, you gotta read. You know, Elon Musk, he reads all the time and he's a genius. He's a fucking genius. He's a voracious reader. Motherfucking Bill Gates, he has reading vacations. He'll take a bunch of books and go to the fucking Alps or something, get a cabin and just read and come back with ideas. Like, it's so important. All these ideas start to compound, right? And you'll be able to think clearer and you'll be able to connect different dots when you read things and learn more information. And it sharpens you mentally. Reading improves your memory, improves your focus and your critical thinking. This is like proven. It's not debatable. So you motherfuckers say, man, I can't focus. Oh, every time someone tells me that, that's a person I know who doesn't read, because reading sharpens your focus. So even aside from just learning, the training of reading, it enhances your problem solving ability. The books offer different perspectives. It expands your ability to solve complex problems because now you have more reference points and you've been exposed to different perspectives than just your dumbass friends or your poor mom. You wonder why you can't think of no good ideas, because you're only talking to your dumbass friends and your whore mom, right? You can actually get the thoughts and the experience of experts. And one critical thing you can get, their experiences in a book. Anything you want to learn, somebody's done it already and they probably wrote a book about it. The reason they wrote a book about it because they were fucking paid to, right? They're financially compensated, and they should be. And they wrote a book about it. For example, Ray Dalio was one of my heroes, somebody I look up to. He runs the largest hedge fund of all time. He wrote a book about how he solves problems and his principles of life, right? He's a goddamn billionaire. So I get the benefit of all of his experience without having to go through the fucking drama he went through. Experience is the best teacher, but it doesn't have to be your experience. You can capitalize off other people's experience. Read one book a week. And sometimes people say, man, if you read that much, how do you retain it? Every time someone says that, oh, you don't read, nigga. You worried about the wrong shit. Let me ask you a question. When you watch a fucking movie, Do you remember every word of the movie? No, but you know what it was about. You can tell me the plot, right? That's what reading is a book about. You're not going to be able to recite this shit verbatim, and that's not the goal. Your goal is to get the principles and the overarching ideas and then build that into your lexicon of ideas. And this way you'll be able to bring that experience that you got from someone else, their experience, into your problems that you're trying to solve or your life. And it improves your vocabulary. This may come as a shock to some of you guys, but I actually dumb down my vocabulary when I'm making these videos in order for you dumb motherfuckers to understand it, because studies show when you speak at a fucking lower grade level, motherfuckers understand it better. It's actually more compelling because the average American's IQ is only about 100. Fucking dummies, right? That means that half of the population is to the left of that bell curve, right? So I got to talk to everybody, right? But if you want to be smarter, it's going to improve your vocabulary immensely, all right? And that's also why I curse more too, right? To grab your fucking attention, because you motherfuckers have the attention spans of a coked up goldfish. Most of you dipshits can't even wait for the microwave timer to go off without checking your fucking Instagram. So sometimes I curse or add comedic humor as well as dumbing down my vocabulary in order for you goofy motherfuckers to understand it. The next habit you need to incorporate in your life is start taking cold showers. You know, I say that at the risk of sounding like a budget David Goggins. I'm not telling you to do this so you can be tough, right? I don't need you to be a fucking G.I. Joe. There's real data as to why cold showers are beneficial. For example, people who take cold showers actually get sick less. There was a study where they had the participants take cold showers for 90 days. Only some of the participants take cold showers for 90 days. And then what they noticed was the people who took cold showers got sick significantly less after that. And during the time, and here's a study. Basically, the effect of cold showers on health, work, randomized control, right? They called in sick a lot less, right? So it improves your immune system. You know, you may have heard in the past that, oh man, when it's cold outside, I get sick. Temperature doesn't make you sick, dummy. That's an old fucking wives' tale. If temperature made people sick, then everybody would catch the flu after they did a fucking cold plunge, right? Viruses and bacteria make you sick. The reason people get sicker in the winter is because we spend more time indoors with each other and we're spreading viruses and bacteria amongst each other more effectively. And people get less exposure to the sun, right? And the lack of vitamin D lowers people's immune system, causing them to get sick more. I haven't been sick in 8 years. Not the whole reason, but a part of that is I take cold showers. I take cold shower every day, right? But I didn't start taking it for the immune system. I started taking it because it actually improves your mood. Well, a lot of people know this. I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 when I was younger, and I had to do certain things to regulate my mood. A lot of that comes down to regulating your hormones, the neurochemicals that are going off in your brain, because emotions are just collections of different neurochemicals going off in your brain. Dopamine, epinephrine, oxytocin, serotonin, things like that. Different combination of these is what an emotion is. So I approached my bipolar from a neuroscience perspective. And one thing I wanted to do was increase my dopamine levels. And there are studies that show basically cold showers are treatment for depression. Ice baths was one of the first depression treatments before the drugs and pharmaceuticals were invented. They would have people getting in the ice baths or fucking freezing cold water. And what they noticed was their mood improved and it started curing people of depression. And there's science behind it as well. You know, you can read this shit on your own time, dork. But basically, cold immersion can increase dopamine levels up to 200%. So it actually increases your dopamine levels temporarily, right? And this is very important. There's other health benefits as well, but I think those are the main reasons why you want to take cold showers. One, it increases dopamine. If your dopamine increases, you'll be in a better mood, you'll be happier, and you'll have more drive. When people say, man, I'm just not motivated, that's somebody with very low dopamine, right? When your dopamine levels are high, you're super motivated, you're ready to get after it. So you need to increase dopamine with cold exposure. So I'll take cold showers every day. I'll do cold plunges. I do cryotherapy. That's my preferred cold exposure method, right? And it helps me wake up in the morning as well, right? You get a spike of norepinephrine and a little bit of adrenaline when you're immersed in that cold water. Because remember, emotions are just neurochemicals. And if you can naturally manipulate your own neurochemicals, then you can manipulate your own mood. So yeah, if you take those cold showers, you'll get sick less. And getting sick is fucking whack. Sucker shit. Every time I hear a motherfucker getting sick, and I'm like, you a pussy. Stop getting sick. And cold showers will help you with that. Because when you're sick, you're not doing what? Making money. You're not making money if you're sick, baby. I ain't been sick in 8 years because it's fucking whack. Next thing you need to do is walk every day. It sounds like some hippie bullshit, but just work with me. After my father committed suicide, some people were like, hey, Brandon, maybe you should talk to a therapist. So I went and talk to a therapist. It wasn't really that helpful for me. But the one thing that was helpful, he recommended that I walk every day without headphones or no music, no phone or nothing. Phones weren't really popping like that. We had flip phones and shit, but no devices. And he said, go for a 30-minute walk every day. Just be alone with your thoughts. That was super helpful. And what I would notice when I went on these walks, especially alone and I'm just with my thoughts, I started coming up with ideas. Problems will get solved. It helps with creativity. It helps you get your thoughts together. You know, I don't journal nor shit like that, you know, because I'm a G. But I found it super beneficial to walk every day, right? Just from a mental health standpoint. I found it super beneficial. Just go for a 30-minute walk every day. I do it every morning. I go outside. You know, I live right on the ocean. You know, this is the oceanfront Miami condo, you know. So I walk outside on the ocean. I see manatees. They come say, what's up, manatees? So every once in a while I see a dolphin, you know, the sea creatures. They come and they show love. It's a dope way to start the day, get it popping, you know. In this study, people who walked for 20 minutes a day outside, 43% fewer sick days. They noticed that it improves your immune system. So this is probably another reason why I never get sick. Another reason I don't get sick, this is not advice, what I'm about to tell you, but I've been doing keto for 8 years. And studies show that ketogenic diet improves your immune system. When they put animals on keto, they live longer and shit. It's lit. Anyway, this will help you, man, because remember, getting sick is whack. Next habit, get a trainer. If you're struggling with your weight, or if you're struggling with getting the kind of shape you want to get in, get a trainer, man. And if you never had a trainer, even if you know how to work out, get a trainer for a year. When I first started working out when I was 16, I was reading, you know, magazines. We didn't have, the internet wasn't really out then, but I was reading magazines and reading books, which are probably better than the internet, on fitness. And I was making progress that first year. But then I went home for one summer. I was in military school, right? So I went home for one summer. There was a friend of the family, this guy named Aaron Muhammad, and he was voted #1 trainer in Chicago. And he was a friend of the family, so he like trained me for the summer for free, you know, just because he was showing me love. He like kind of took me under his wing. During that time, I made so much more progress than when I was working out on my own, right? And I learned so much that I took with me. If you have a goal that you're serious about, you should get some sort of coach or some sort of trainer to help you with it, because there's things about it that you don't know. It's called unconscious incompetence, right? So this is the competence quadrant. Unconscious incompetence. This means there's stuff you don't know that you don't know. Then there's conscious incompetence. This is better because at least you know there's shit you don't know. Then there's conscious competence. There's some stuff you know, and mastery is unconscious competence, right? Like you can do it on command. It's like asking Michael Jordan to dribble, give him a ball and tell him to dribble. Like he doesn't have to think about it. Conscious competence, you have to think about it. A lot of you motherfuckers are on this side of the curve where you think you know some shit because you watch some fucking YouTube videos. When you get a real trainer, someone who's really working with you, they're going to show you stuff that you didn't know that you didn't know. They're going to notice things in your form, or they're going to notice things in your training, imbalances you had that you don't even know that you don't know. At least get a trainer for a few months. If you get a good trainer, it's really going to step up your game. Most of you guys aren't tracking your calories, your macros, especially if you get one who could track your macros and all this stuff, man. It's really going to help you out. You're going to make more progress in those 3 months than you did all last year combined if you never had a trainer before. I promise you, I guarantee you. Come back to this video and tell me, I guarantee you. You want to do that with everything. Like when I was first learning to play guitar, I was just watching YouTube videos, right? I watched YouTube videos and learned guitar. And I made some progress. I can get some chords, right? But then I hired a guitar teacher to work with me directly. And man, the first 3 months I worked with him, I made more progress than I made in the last 2 years combined in those 3 months, because there was just stuff I didn't know that I didn't know. And there was stuff that I was doing that I couldn't see because it's hard to see the picture when you're within the frame. And he can look at me and say, oh no, you can do this. And just little changes would just help me get so much better, so much faster. You get that rapid feedback. You don't get as much feedback, or you don't get the same rate of feedback when you're doing something all alone. You know, the way you improve is through a feedback loop, right? You do shit, fuck up, then you get feedback, then you improve, right? This is how you get good at anything, right? When you were trying to learn how to walk, you started fucking walking, you bust your shit, your parents tried to help you. You said, oh, if I do this shit wrong, I fall down, right? You got some feedback, then you improved. This is how anyone gets good at anything. This is how you've got good at anything you're good at if you're good at anything. Having some sort of coach speeds this shit up because you get instant feedback. If I was playing a chord wrong in front of me, no, move your finger right here. I'm like, oh, it would took me mad long to figure that shit out on my own, right? Same thing when you have a trainer. It improves the feedback loop. It speeds up the feedback loop so you get better faster. Next habit you want to pick up is meditating daily. I've been meditating twice a day, 15 to 20 minute sessions every day for the last about 15 years. It's difficult to overstate how beneficial it could be for your life. So let me show you a study. After 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation, this is an academic study. What happens was the participants increased the gray matter density in their frontal lobe. And that's the part of your brain that makes decisions, right? You know, your neocortex. This is where logic comes from. Human beings have a bigger neocortex, right? That allows us to create things like language, to build civilizations, to make YouTube videos where other animals struggle in those endeavors. If you can make that part of your brain more dense, you'll be more logical. You'll be able to make better decisions, right? And less of a fucking spaz. And there's another study that shows that it was done by Harvard University that showed after 8 weeks of meditation, the participants' amygdala started to shrink. The amygdala is the part of your brain that makes you a fucking spaz. This is where fear, anxiety, and stress comes from. It's like basically your fight or flight response is, right? So think about this. 8 weeks of meditation, your frontal lobe is going to be more dense. You're more dense, science shows, right? Which means you'll be more logical. Your amygdala is going to shrink, which means you're going to be less of a fucking panicky ass spaz. How can that not improve your life? I can't think of any endeavor where being more logical and less emotional, less of a spaz wouldn't be beneficial. It's going to help you in all areas of life. And I see it all the time. You know, sometimes I'm at the plane station. I call it the plane station. I'm at the plane station, somebody in the flight to get delayed, and people yelling at the fucking plane waitress. I'm like, yo, man, it's just a plane waitress, man. She don't control air traffic control. It's not her fault, right? They're yelling, spazzing out, having a fit, and I'm cool as a fan. I mean, it's inconvenience for me too, but I'm not being a child about it because I've been meditating for 15 years. I see people spazzing out all the time. Like, if you can't handle stress, if any little thing knocks you off course, it's going to be super difficult for you to do anything important in life, right? How you going to have employees and shit if you're a spaz? What kind of boss are you going to be if you're a spaz? What kind of parent are you going to be if you're spazzing out and you can't be logical? What kind of man are you going to be if you're spazzing out like a woman all the time, right? Be calm. This is one of the reasons why I'm so much cooler than you. Because if 8 weeks of meditation would do that for your brain according to studies, imagine what 15 years does. It's going to really help you with your life, right? And the next habit you need to make this year the best year of your life is to start tracking everything. That's why I got a habit tracker for you to download in the description. It's called the Victory Vision Planner. What you want to do is you want to use it and start tracking everything. And you can modify it to add more areas to track. So basically you can come up with a habit tracker and start tracking things, right? Because remember what we talked about before. When you are being observed by someone else or yourself, studies show that your performance improves, right? And then it just gives you data, right? So bang, you can actually add more things to track, and you can take things away if you want. The only things I wouldn't take away with the habit tracker is I wouldn't take away the income, because this graph is dynamic. So just keep that there. Otherwise the graph won't work, and keep your weight here. Otherwise the graph won't work. But then there's another part of the Victory Vision Planner, right? So you can basically plan out your goals, right? So we go to the action planner, this part right here. And now this is just dummy data, but you put any goal you have for the year in these columns. Put a goal in each column, right? And then you put you put down every step in detail, right? And you can go in here and add way more stuff to the step, but you want to put a deadline on it. Most motherfuckers be like, oh, I plan my goals. Like, did you plan out every step and put a deadline on every? No, then it's just a fucking wish, homie, right? And this is free. So once you have every step of all your goals planned out with a deadline on each, then what you can do is you can look here at the progress. So now we broke all these down into steps. And you can see where you are on each step with the progress tab. And once you start something, let's say, I started this just now, boom, I moved that over to in progress. And you can see where you are in the goals. What gets done, when something's done, oh, I did that, that's what's up, man, move it over here to done. And you can do it like this too. You can move it over here like this, or you can do it like that. Now here's where it gets really good. Because remember I said you're going to put a deadline on every step. Now you have a tab here where it's like this month. Oh, this is the thing. These are the things I have to do this month to accomplish my goal. So it's all the tasks that you have to do this month. And we had the same thing, not started, progress done. for this month. This is where you break your big goals down into steps. And then you know, oh, if I do all these things this month, I'll be right on track. Then you can go here, bring it down a little more to this week. This is the only thing I got to do this week to hit my goals. It's very important. You can always change the date if it doesn't look like you're going to do it or you miss it. I don't know how you motherfuckers accomplish your goals without doing this. I've been doing a version of this for decades. Oh, I know how. You don't. That's how you ended up watching videos about how to accomplish your goals. How about we change this shit? Download the free Victory Vision Planner. It's a free Notion template. All you got to do is hit the link in the description, download it. It's 100% free. All right. I also have another video on how to use this. Matter of fact, my video editor is going to put it up here somewhere.